Witam Państwa. Otwieram uroczyste posiedzenie Senatu związane z inauguracją roku akademickiego 2021-2022.
Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting of the Senate falls into 150th anniversary of the first inauguration of the academic year at our university. I think I'll have to take off my gloves. I'm really pleased to welcome all of you who have accepted our invitation to participate in this ceremony. Employees, emeritus employees, students, PhD candidates, and our distinguished guests, both in the main aula and those who participate online. Well, I would wholeheartedly welcome the past of our alma mater, the future of our alma mater, the PhD candidates and the students of the first year. Let me welcome also the representatives of state and self-government authorities. Let me welcome Professor Tomasz Grodzki, President of the Senate of the Republic of Poland. I welcome Mr. Adam Kwiatkowski, Minister at the Chancellery of the President of the Republic of Poland, who is a friend of our school. Let me welcome Ms. Jolanta Hibner, Senator of the Republic of Poland. Ms. Joanna Fabisiak, Member of Parliament at Sejm, Dr. Karolina Zioło-Pużuk, Deputy Chief of the Chancellery of the Senate of the Republic of Poland, Ms. Małgorzata Daszczyk, Head of the Office of the President of the Senate, Ms. Justyna Orłowska, Plenipotentiary for GovTech at Prime Minister's Council, and our choirist and graduate of this university. Welcome back. Mr. Włodzimierz Karpiński, City Treasurer at the City of Warsaw. Mr. Rafał Miastowski, Mayor of Mokotów District. Professor Alexander Nawrat, Plenipotentiary for the Minister for Climate and Environment. Mr. Marcin Pawlak, Head of the Department of Digitalization, Geodesia and Cartography at the Marshal's Office of Mazowian Voivodeship. A warm welcome to Professor Zbigniew Marciniak, Head of the Main Council of Higher Education. And a warm welcome also to the head of the heads, the boss of the bosses, Professor Klaudiusz, who is the President of the Conference of Academic Rectors of Polish Schools and the rector of Silesian Polytechnics. Thank you very much, Professor, for accepting this invitation and coming here to this celebration. And now, ladies and gentlemen, applaud when I say
Witam pana profesora Michała Zasadę,
I welcome
rektora
Professor
Szkoły Głównej
Michał Zasada,
Gospodarstwa
Rector
Wiejskiego,
of the University of
zastępcy
Life Sciences in
przewodniczącego
Warsaw and
konferencji
Deputy President of the Conference of Rectors of Academic Schools in Poland.
Pana profesora Maciej Żukowski, rektora Uniwersytetu Ekonomicznego
of the Economic University of Poznań and the President of Conference of Rectors of Economic Universities in Poland. Professor Klaudiusz Baran, Rector of the Musical Frederick Chopin University. Deputy President of the Conference of Rectors of Universities in Warsaw, Professor Celina Hoflak, Rector of the Economic University of Silesia, Professor Barbara Marcinkowska, Rector of the Maria Grzegorzewska Pedagogical University in Warsaw, Professor Andrzej Kaleta, Rector of the Economic University of Wrocław, Professor Alojzy Nowak, Rector of the University of Warsaw, who is our graduate. Professor Zbigniew Gaciąg, Rector of the Warsaw Medical University, Professor Bartosz Monik, Rector of the Józef Piłsudski Physical Education Academy. I'm closely related to him. Reverend Professor Andrzej Czekarski, Rector at Stefan Wyszyński University. Reverend Professor Krzysztof Pawlina, Rector of the Catholic Academy in Warsaw. Senior Brigadier Dr. Mariusz Fertynowski, Rector, Commandant of the Fire Service School in Warsaw, Professor Grzegorz Mazurek, Rector of the Leon Koźmiński University, Professor Leon Cieślak, Rector at the University of Science and Humanities, Social Sciences and Humanities, Professor Jerzy Pawłowski, Rector at the Polish-Japanese Academy of IT, Professor Maciej Rogalski, Rector at Łazarski University. And now a warm applause for all of these rectors. Thank you very much indeed. Welcome all the deputy rectors. Professor Barbara Kowalewska, Deputy Rector for Fine Arts Academy. Professor Piotr Buła, Deputy Rector at the Economic University of Kraków. Professor Władysław Chłopiński, Rector of the Aleksander Zelwerowicz Theatrical Academy. Professor Dobroworski, Rector of the Military Technical Academy of Jarosław Dąbrowski, Professor Mariusz Dąbrowski at the Polytechnic of Warsaw, the Rector of the Marii Curie Skłodowska Medical University, Professor Tadeusz Zieliński, Deputy Rector of the Christian Theological Academy, Leonard Zarzecki, from the Collegium Civitas, Colonel Kozioł, Head of the Institute of Theory of Security at the Military Arts Academy. A warm applause to all these deputy rectors. A warm welcome, a really warm welcome, and I really feel honored, and a warm applause for each of these people, former rectors of Warsaw Universities in Warsaw. Professor Alicja Przyłuska-Fischer, former rector at the Józef Piłsudski Physical Education Academy. Professor Marek Krawczyk, former rector of the Warsaw Medical University. Professor Andrzej Eliasz, former rector at the University of Social Sciences and Humanities. Professor Wiesław Bielawski, former rector at the University of Life Sciences in Warsaw. Professor Stefan Kwiatkowski, former rector of the Maria Grzegorzewska Special Pedagogy University. Let me also welcome former rector of our university, Professor Adam Budnikowski and Professor Marek Rocki.
Online witam serdecznie pana profesora.
Joining us online is Professor Bożakowski.
Serdecznie witam członków Rady
Let me
Uczelni.
wholeheartedly welcome members of the board of our
Adamowicz,
university, Professor Elżbieta Adamowicz, who will deliver inaugurational lecture.
Witam serdecznie i
Let me
bardzo się
also
cieszę z tej
welcome, and I'm really
obecności
pleased that you're
księdza
here,
Mateusza
Reverend
Gawaryckiego,
Mateusz
rektora
Gawarycki,
Kościoła
rector of
Akademickiego
St. Anna
Świętej Anny.
Academic Church in Warsaw.
Księdza Piotra
Reverend
Gasia
Piotr
z parafii ewangelicka
from the
Augsburskiej
Evangelical
Świętej Trójcy.
Augsburg
Księdza
Church of
doktora
Holy
Artura
Trinity.
Aleksiuka z
Reverend
katedry
Dr.
metropolitalnej
Aleksiuk
Świętej Marii
from the
Magdaleny.
Metropolitan Church of St. Magdalene,
A także
and
przedstawicieli
also
misji
representatives
dyplomatycznych,
of
panią
diplomatic
Gary Lama, Adia,
missions.
radca
Gary
ambasady
Lama Ama
Mongolii,
from the
panią
counselor at the Embassy of
Gunika
Mongolia,
Mojamba,
Ms. Gunika
kierownika
Moyamba,
do spraw
head of the
administracyjnych
administrative
ambasady
affairs at the Embassy of
pana
Mongolia,
doktora
and
Igora
Dr. Igan
radcę
Baranecki,
ambasady
who
Ukrainy.
is counselor at the Embassy of Ukraine.
Cieszę się z
I'm very
obecności
pleased
przedstawicieli
that
klubu
we have
partnerów.
The Club of
Witam
Partners
panią
representation
Izabelę
here,
Olszewską,
Ms.
wiceprezes
Izabela
Grupy
Olszewska,
Papierów
Deputy
i
Head
członka
of
Rady
the Warsaw
Uczelni.
Stock Exchange and a member
Panią
of our board.
Małgorzatę Majer,
Ms.
przedstawicielkę
Małgorzata
Procter
Majer
Gamble i
from
członka Rady
P&G,
Uczelni.
who is also a member of
Annę
our board.
Dąbrowską,
Ms. Anna
przedstawicielkę
Dąbrowska,
Debeszenker, panią Agnieszkę Dziewulską,
from
przedstawicielkę
Debeszenker,
KPMG,
Anna Dziewulska
pana
from
Michała
KPMG,
Rybaka, wiceprezesa
Mr.
zarządu
Michał
grupy
Rybak,
LuxMed,
Deputy Head
panią
of
Natalię
LuxMed
Bigot,
Group,
przedstawicielkę
Ms. Natalia Bigot,
i naszą
from Labyrinth, and
pana
who also
Jacka
graduated from this
Chmielewskiego,
university,
przedstawiciela Banku
Mr. Jacek Chmielewski from
pana
Millennium
Borysa
Bank,
Pastusiaka,
Mr.
przedstawiciela
Boris Pastuszak
McKinsey'a,
from
i pana
McKinsey,
Wojciecha
and
Leśniewskiego,
Mr.
dyrektora
Wojciech
Santander
Leśniewski, Head of
Universidad.
Santander
Witam
Universidades.
serdecznie państwa i dziękuję za
A
przybycie.
warm welcome to all of you, and thanks for coming.
Serdecznie witam
A
przedstawicieli
warm welcome also
instytucji,
to the
fundacji,
institutions,
przedsiębiorstw
NGOs,
współpracujących
foundations,
z
and
SGH.
enterprises
Panią
cooperating with
profesor
SGH Warsaw School of
Uścińską, prezesa Zakładu
Economics.
Ubezpieczeń Społecznych.
Professor Gertruda Uścińska, head of
Pana
the Social
Pawła
Insurance
Borysa,
Office,
prezesa
Mr. Paweł
Polskiego
Borys,
Funduszu Rozwoju,
Boris,
naszego
head
absolwenta.
of the Polish
Pana
Fund for
Tomasza
Development,
Krusnego,
also
prezesa
graduated
Urzędu
from this
Ochrony
university,
Konkurencji i Konsumentów.
a president
Pana
of
Piotra
the
Zakrzewskiego,
Competitions
zastępcę
Office,
prezesa Urzędu
Mr. Piotr
Patentowego
Zakrzewski from the
Rzeczypospolitej
Patents
Polskiej.
Office of the
Panią
Republic of
Renatę
Poland,
Oszas,
Ms. Renata Oszas,
dyrektor generalną Ministerstwa Finansów.
Head,
Panią dr
General Head at
Grażynę
the
Żebrowską,
Ministry of
dyrektora
Finance, Dr.
Narodowej Agencji
Grażyna
Wymiany
Żebrowska,
Akademickiej.
Head
Panią
of
Marię
the
Andrzejewską,
National
dyrektora generalną
Academic
Urzędu
Exchange
Grid Warszawa.
Agency,
Panią profesor
Professor Elżbieta Mączyńska,
Polskiego
Head of the
Towarzystwa
Polish
Ekonomicznego.
Economic
Panią
Association,
dyrektor Małgorzata Plichcińska,
Ms.
dyrektor
Dyrektor
Technikum Ekonomicznego
Małgorzata
numer
Pliścińska
8.
from
Pana
the
ambasadora
Technical
Jacego
Secondary
Koźmińskiego,
School,
prezesa Polsko-Amerykańskiej Fundacji
Head of the
Wolności.
Polish American
Pana
Freedom
Waldemara
Foundation,
Śliwińskiego, prezesa Fundacji Edukacji Perspektywy, pana doktora Tomasza Perkowskiego, wiceprezesa Fundacji na Rzecz Polskiej Nauki, pana Krzysztofa Przybyła, prezesa Fundacji Polskiego Godła Promocyjnego, pana Zygmunta Berdychowskiego, przewodniczącego Rady Programowej Forum Ekonomicznego, pana Andrzeja Sadowskiego, prezydenta Centrum imienia Adama Smitha, pana doktora Radosława Jasińskiego, dyrektora programowego Polsko-Amerykańskiej Fundacji Wolności, pana doktora Pawła Poszytka, dyrektora generalnego Fundacji Rozwoju Systemu Edukacji, pana
Paweł
profesora
Poszytek,
Józefa
director from
Lubaka,
the General
dyrektora
Foundation
Instytutu
for the
Problemów
Development for the Foundation of Development of
Cywilizacji
Education,
imienia
and
Marka
Professor Józef
Dietricha,
Lubacz,
pana
director of the
doktora
Institute
Zygmunta
for
Krasińskiego,
Problems of
prezesa
Contemporary
Polskiej Izby
Civilization,
Gospodarczej
Zygmunt Krasiński from
Zaawansowanych
the
Technologii,
Polish
pana
Chamber
doktora
for
Olafa
Advanced
Gajla,
Technologies,
wiceprezesa
Dr.
Polskiej
Olaf
Izby
Geil,
Gospodarczej
Vice President of the
Zaawansowanych
Polish
Technologii,
Economic
pana
Chamber
Pawła
for Advanced
Dziekońskiego,
Technologies,
wiceprezesa
Mr.
FARCO
Paweł
i naszego
Dziekoński,
absolwenta,
Vice President
pana
of
Jerzego
FACRO, and our graduate Jerzy Karasiuk,
prezesa Fundacji
President
Małych i
of the
Średnich
Foundation for
Przedsiębiorstw, pana
SMEs,
Marcina Czugana,
Mr.
prezesa
Marcin
Związku Przedsiębiorstw
Szugan,
Finansowych
President
w Polsce,
of
pana
the
Jacka
Financial Associations in Poland,
Leczkowskiego,
Mr.
prezesa
Jacek
Erbut,
Leczkowski,
pana
President of
Pawła
Erbut
Rozena,
Company,
przedstawiciel Siman
Mr. Ravel
Polska,
Rosen,
pana doktora Jarosława
representative of SIMA
Melnarowicza,
Poland,
doradcę
Dr.
ekonomicznego
Jarosław Melnarowicz,
Najwyższej
Economic
Izbie
Advisor
Kontroli.
at
Teraz
the
duża
Supreme Chamber of Audit. A warm welcome to all of you.
Witam gorąco
Let
panią
me
prezes
extend a warm
Uniwersytetu Trzeciego
welcome
Wieku
to
SGH,
the
Krystynę
president
Lewkowicz
of
oraz panią
the
profesor Angelikę Kuźnię, prezes Stowarzyszenia Absolwentów SGH, a także
of
pana
the
Leszka
University
Hakowskiego,
for
prezydenta
elderly
Korporacji
senior citizens
Handlu
and also
Zagranicznego.
representatives of
Witam
other
także
institutions.
panią
Let me
dyrektor
welcome director
niepublicznego
of the non-public
Liceum
secondary
Ogólnokształcącego
school,
numer 81 SGH,
school number
panią dr
81, dr
Barbarę
Barbara
Trzcińską.
Trzcińska.
W związku z uroczystością, proszę Państwa, napłynęły do naszej uczelni także listy
We have also
gratulacyjne,
received
za które
letters of
serdecznie
congratulations,
dziękujemy.
and we would like
Wszystkie
to extend
zostały
our thanks for those
zamieszczone
letters.
na naszej
All of those
stronie
letters have been
internetowej.
published on our website.
Niestety, proszę Państwa,
Unfortunately, ladies
w czasie,
and
który
gentlemen,
minął od poprzedniej inauguracji,
since the previous
z naszej
inauguration,
społeczności odeszły następujące osoby.
we have lost
Bardzo
a
bym
few
prosił
members
o
of our community,
powstanie.
and I would like to ask you to
Pani
rise
profesor
now.
Elżbieta
Profesor
Domańska.
Elżbieta
Pani
Domańska,
profesor Anna
profesor Anna Skowronek-Mielczak,
Pan
profesor Klemens
Paweł
Białecki,
Pan
profesor Jerzy Małysz,
Pan
profesor Antoni Rajkiewicz,
Pan profesor Franciszek Tomczak,
profesor Franciszek Tomczak,
Paweł Bożyk,
profesor Paweł Bożyk, dr Jerzy Kobyłecki, Bożena Andrzejuk, Krystyna Frej, Krystyna Hurach, Stefania Pabisiak-Ślusarz, Halina Swarcewicz,
Pani Czesława Trzcińska,
Czesława Trzcińska, Kazimierz Żebrowski,
Jacek Siedlecki.
Jacek Siedlecki. I would like to ask you now to respect their memory with a minute of silence.
Bardzo dziękuję Państwu.
Thank you.
Teraz, proszę Państwa, zgodnie z następnym
Now,
punktem,
ladies and gentlemen, the next point on the agenda is my presentation, is my address.
dano mi, proszę Państwa, 5 minut.
I have been given 5 minutes. I have been able to negotiate 7 minutes. I'm not that much of a negotiator, I have to say. I have to learn more about negotiations. Marshal, Minister, distinguished guests, dear family of Warsaw School of Economics, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome you to this inauguration of the academic year 2021-2022 at Warsaw School of Economics in Warsaw. Today is an important day for our community for one more reason. We are starting the celebration of the anniversary of Warsaw School of Economics. Exactly 115 years ago, on the 13th of October 1906, the first inauguration of the so-called private commercial courses for men. That is when it took place, and it started the great history of our university. The inaugural lecture at that time on economic doctrines was delivered by Jan Kucharzewski, who later became the head of the first Royal Polish Council of Ministers, which operated in 1917 and 1918. Due to the pandemic, we were unable to celebrate this anniversary last year, and that is why we have decided to postpone the celebrations to the next few months. I'm glad that we can meet today and we can celebrate together. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to the first-year students and doctoral students who are joining our community today. This is a community of creative people, of committed people, of people with entrepreneurial spirit. You have chosen a school where the development of your personal talents and your scientific passions will be in line with our core values. Remember, please, that you can always count on the support of the community, of us academic teachers in particular. Our aim is to share our knowledge and our experience and skills with you. I am extremely pleased to welcome senior students and PhD students, our community of academic teachers, our administration staff, and graduates of our university, and especially warm welcome to our retired employees. I am truly glad that you are in constant contact with us. I'm happy that you join also in the life of the university currently. I also would like to welcome the representatives of companies associated in the SGH or Warsaw School of Economics Partner Club. Cooperation with you is a valuable contribution to the development of our alma mater. I'd like to express my gratitude to the entire academic community as well for the fact that you are developing the school, developing the university, especially in this difficult time of the pandemic. Thank you for your participation in the joint improvement of our organization. Thank you for your constructive remarks or suggestions for changes. I always bear in mind the opinions that you voice when we make key decisions. I'd like to thank you for your concern to maintain the high quality of education at our university, and for implementing the recommendations that we developed during our didactics roundtable that we have at this university. I'd like to thank you for your full commitment to the preparation for the evaluation of scientific disciplines that we are about to face, and I hope that this will bear lasting fruit. Ladies and gentlemen, I said some time ago that the mission of universities is fulfilled when research that they do brings benefits in the form of economic and social progress. And at Warsaw School of Economics, it is both the principle of our operation, our operating mode, and our goal. By shaping students and by conducting scientific activity, we want to take an active part in social development, and we want to build an economy that is based on knowledge and innovation. We want to take on the role of a leading partner of the most important strategic initiatives for Poland and for the entire CEE region. We want to shape partnership-based relationships with entities from the national area, from the national scene and the international scene as well. The path that we are following is in alignment with the principles of social responsibility of science, and this is one of the most important elements of our strategy for the years 2022-2032. This strategy determines our directions that we want to follow. We know exactly where we want to go. We know where this beautiful frigate wants to sail, the frigate from the emblem of our university. We are currently preparing for the implementation of the strategy by developing implementation plans. I would like to thank the entire community of our university for their involvement in the creation of this university and the further development of this university. Social responsibility is not just a trendy buzzword or a way to promote our presence in the public space. It's a real obligation. We are in a historical moment that requires from us, academic centers, a special level of commitment to shaping leadership attitudes among students. We want them to be able to shape the world of the future, which is based on the principles of sustainable development. Our turbulent reality, climate changes, social changes, economic changes, all this requires from the academic community an active participation in the process of creating innovative responses to the challenges of the modern world. And that is why I'm even more pleased that we have developed and implemented our social responsibility strategy. This is one of the pillars for the development of our university. At this university, it is not only the economic interest of the university that we care about. We want our employees to benefit, local communities to benefit, and the natural environment to benefit as well. And that is why we have undergone an audit, and we have defined indicators for monitoring and reporting in this area. This analysis was based on socio-environmental aspects of internationally recognized standards. The words are followed by actions, also in the area of our investments. We care for the climate, and with this in mind, we designed the innovative space center at Batory Street, the new center. Thanks to modern technical solutions applied in that building, it will be environmentally friendly. It will be a green building. I'm happy to inform you that in September we signed a contract with Erbut, the contractor, the general contractor, the company that will build this investment within 2 years, 24 months. I'd like to now reiterate that we are counting, because the president of the company is here, we are counting on the company keeping sticking to that deadline. I thank everybody involved in that project for their efforts and their hard work. Special words of thanks to Dr. Marcin Dąbrowski, the Chancellor of our university. We take great care to respect the values of Warsaw School of Economics, which we have written down in our Code of Ethics. An important event this last academic year was the general election of the ombudsman, the ethics ombudsman at our university. Also, we have a plenipotentiary for collaboration with the European Union. On the 2nd of October, we appointed that role. And Poland has the status of a full member of the European community. This, for us, is a fundamental and inviolable value for us. Therefore, we will not only promote knowledge about the European Union, but we will also tighten and strengthen collaboration with EU institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share some great news with you as well. I am very pleased to announce that Warsaw School of Economics has received the prestigious EQUIS accreditation. This accreditation is the most important international accreditation for business and management universities. Across the globe, it is only held by 200 universities, including 6 universities from Central and Eastern Europe, and 3 universities from Poland, including Warsaw School of Economics. We are extremely pleased to be able to inform you that we have joined this noble group. This is a result of many years of hard work. It has been very beneficial for our university, because while we were preparing for that accreditation, we have been also improving our organization. I'd like to thank the entire community of the university and all friends of our university for their help in obtaining the accreditation. Nearly 150 people were involved in the work. I'd like to express my special thanks to the rector, Professor Jacek Prokop, and Professor Marcin Wojtysiak-Kotlarski, who were in charge of the accreditation procedure. But we have to remember that this accreditation is not granted once and forever. In 3 years' time, we will have to reconfirm our quality, and there will be a re-accreditation process that we will undergo. This is a serious commitment for all of us. However, I do trust that by working together for our alma mater, we will be successful again in 3 years' time. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point I'd like to thank you so much for our joint efforts, for being and working as one team. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad to see all of you at today's ceremony, at today's event. I do hope you will enjoy the opening of the academic year, and I wish you a good and healthy new academic year. I'd like to also remind you that we should take care of one another, of our health. I know that the decision to vaccinate against COVID is a personal choice. However, the safety of all of us depends to a large extent on these individual decisions. If there are no medical contraindications in your case, I sincerely encourage you to get vaccinated. If you take the vaccine, it has one more very important dimension. Our duty as representatives of the academic community is to build trust in the achievements of science, and this contributes to the formation of reasonable social attitudes. My kind request is also to observe the principles and the distance-keeping principles introduced in our university. At the end of my keynote, I'd like to address new students and PhD students. Dear students, always seek the truth based on reliable research and not on wild guesses and opinions and fake news. And there are so many of them around these days. Be honest and respect other people around you. These are the fundamental principles of our university. On the banner of the secondaries, the Justyna Secondary School in Warsaw, which I attended, there is this inscription: your deeds, your values will be your deeds. Your values will be defined by your deeds. And I think that this motto is universal. We should all bear this in mind. Achieving goals is very important, but also the way we achieve those goals matters. Sometimes the path, the road itself matters more than the goal. I wish you, I hope that you will feel in the family of our university really well. Develop your passions and make your dreams come true. All the best to all of us for this coming year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Contribution delivered by Professor Piotr Wachowiak, Rector of the Warsaw School of Economics. And now I would like to invite Mr. Minister Adam Kwiatkowski to read the letter from the President of the Republic of Poland, Andrzej Duda, letter addressed to the participants of today's ceremony. Also, 13th of October 2021. Dear Rector and participants of the inauguration of the academic year 2021-22. Dear Marshal, dear Rectors, ladies and gentlemen, professors, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, on the occasion of the inauguration of the academic year 2021-2022, I send my warmest greetings to the authorities and the community of the Warsaw School of Economics at the 115th anniversary of inaugurating this most important economic university, who trained extraordinary managers, economists, and other specialists. I wish that the upcoming year would be fruitful. After a year of difficult experiences related to COVID-19 pandemic, we were really convinced about the value of personal meetings and direct conversations. Undoubtedly, this is an important aspect in the life of academic community. It would be impossible to work remotely only. I hope that in the coming academic year, you will come back completely to traditional classes, and at the universities, you will see students again. Universities play an important social role, and their mission is the same for thousands of years. They seek out for truth and mechanism governing of the world of nature and the phenomena among the human beings. These are key tasks ahead of universities. They also train elites and pass the ethos to younger generations. University methodologically speaks to the freedom of expression, and it should be free of any ideological prejudices. Universities are very special among public institutions because during the university period, it is when the attitudes of young people are shaped. That is why academic life should be open for different viewpoints, and it should present and promote high culture of debate. political involvement and social involvement should be connected to cognitive and emotional distance. This requires a sense of responsibility from all the scientists and also wise and thoughtful policy of the state so that the universities can fulfill their tasks as best as they can. That is why, as a President of the Republic of Poland, I'm following closely the debate on the universities in Poland. Many important changes have been introduced in the past few years, but undoubtedly this intrinsically complex system as universities are should be a subject of ongoing debate. I do hope that the upcoming assessment will prove to be an important milestone in assessing the achievements of Polish science, and it'll mark the pathway for the future. At the threshold of new academic year, let me once again wish you all the best and all the satisfaction. I would like to thank Professor Marek Rocki, former rector of the Warsaw School of Economics, who's been awarded with the Cross of the Rebirth of Poland for his activities, and also to the present rector of Warsaw School of Economics, Professor Piotr Wachowiak, who is the vice chairman of the jury for President's Economic Award. Thanks for your involvement in all these bodies, and thanks for your valuable voice and contribution on Polish economy. And I would like to congratulate all those who've been awarded with the medal for their merits. I would like this year to be really genuinely good and happy. Let this be a year of new perspective for all Polish universities and research institutes and scientists. Best regards, President of the Republic of Poland, Andrzej Duda.
Bardzo pięknie. Dziękujemy.
Thank you very much indeed.
Dziękuję, panie ministrze, i proszę o pozostanie z nami.
Thank you, Minister, and please stay with us here because we will be now handing over state awards. I would like now to ask the member of the Office for Awards at the Chancellery of the President of the Republic of Poland to guide this ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Rector and guests, it is my honor to inform you that President Andrzej Duda has awarded state awards to the employees of the Warsaw School of Economics. Minister Adam Kwiatkowski will be handing over the awards, and he will be accompanied by Rector Piotr Wachowiak. Please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, on the basis of Article 138 of the Constitution of the Republic of Poland and the Act on Awards, by the announcement of President Andrzej Duda, the following people have been awarded for extraordinary contribution to the Polish science, state activity, public activity, with the Commander Cross of the Republic of Poland, Mr. Marek Rocki. For extraordinary fulfillment of duties in the professional work, with Golden Medal for Service, Ms. Małgorzata Meld. Silver Medal for long-term service, Ms. Iwona Górska.
Pan Dariusz Owczarek.
Mr. Dariusz Owczarek.
Pani Katarzyna Wójcicka.
Ms. Katarzyna Wójcicka.
Medalem brązowym za długoletnią służbę.
Bronze medal for long-term service, Ms. Joanna Afrykańska.
Szanowni Państwo, na tym
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the concluding remark for awarding of state awards. Thank you very much.
Bardzo dziękujemy.
Thank you very much indeed, and congratulations to all who've been awarded with medals, and thanks to the Minister for handing over the awards. And now, Professor Tomasz Grodzki, Marshal of the Senate of the Republic of Poland. Dear Rector, members of the Senate and the board of the university, dear staff of the Warsaw School of Economics, dear students, and other distinguished guests who are honored to participate in this event. For me, this is an extraordinary honor to be able to participate in the inauguration of new academic year at the university who's celebrating 150th anniversary, since basically in the Russian domain it was established by your glorious predecessors. Today, after 115 years, we can be proud of years of tradition of economic training for free and independent Poland. But you are not only shaping Polish economy, Polish economics and other fields, related fields, you are creating it. Because the graduates of this extraordinary university have been, over years, expressing the idea that their knowledge and skills serve the well-being of the glorious Republic of Poland. I am very happy that in the Senate we can benefit from your wisdom and your knowledge. You, ladies and gentlemen, are frequent guests at our conferences and seminars. You are genuine leaders, sought-for employees who, wherever they go, will make an imprint because of the knowledge they've taken from this university. All this contributes to the unquestionable prestige of the Warsaw School of Economics, which is enjoying popularity amongst the freshly minted students of economics and other related fields of science. We are part of United Europe, where we occupied our place that belongs to us. But let us recall, as great American President Ronald Reagan used to say, freedom is given for only one generation. Nothing is given forever, once and for all. The times when graduating from foreign commerce at the then Polish main school of planning and statistics allowed you to go abroad, and that was the only opportunity to go abroad. These times are gone forever, thankfully. We have the opportunity to work, to choose the place where we want to live, across Europe, anywhere we want. Those who remember the past know how difficult it was at that time to get to know the world. Our presence inside the European Union is a guarantor of our freedom. It is thanks to our presence in this community, in the European Union, that you will be able to develop, you will be able to share your knowledge, not only in our fatherland, but also abroad. But do remember, and I'm addressing to the future graduates of this university, that we will need you here at the glorious Republic of Poland. Because if you inherit the authority from us, you will be building the well-being of our glorious country inside Europe. A warm congratulations to all of you who start your university education. I wish you that the years that you will pass here, just as has been the case with us who graduated 50, 30, 10 years ago, I wish that this period become inspiring and full of creative endeavors and good academic results for you. To lecturers, I address my wishes for creativity, curiosity, and passion for teaching and transmitting achievements, research achievements when teaching. I would like to wish you to be proud from your students and graduates, and to all of you at the dawn of this new academic year, I wish you all the best and the implementation of your dreams, plans, and endeavors. All the best.
Bardzo pięknie dziękujemy, panie marszałku, za to.
Thank you very much, dear Marshal, for your contribution. And now, I would like to ask Ms. Justyna Orłowska, Plenipotentiary for GovTech at the Council of Ministers and Plenipotentiary for Education and Science Ministry, to read out the letter from Professor Przemysław Czarnek, Minister of Education and Science. The last 10 years ago, I started my first academic year. It's good to remember these days. Dear Marshal, dear Rector, dear Senate, ladies and gentlemen, professors, students, and employees of this university. More than 100 school years of university students have now passed through the threshold of the Warsaw School of Economics. They will leave this university feeling the mission to be the driving force for the development of our state, and indispensable in this process, they will have the knowledge and skills. They will also leave that place as part of the community who is serving the country, and with their counsel and their experience. A community who is creative and innovative, that are at the basis of all of your activities. The next academic year is characterized by one of the most important challenges faced by our education system and science system. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to revalue how universities and schools should implement their mission. In particular, social sciences have faced the dilemma how to teach safely but also efficiently fields that are based on human-to-human relationships. And I think, needless to say, John Adams explained that every challenge provokes an opportunity. This is an opportunity in our case for entrepreneurs, inventors, and digital analysts whose skills will lay the foundations for the development of modern economy. I'm sure that many of them participate in this ceremony, and I'm eager to see with my own eyes the results and outcomes of your academic endeavors. I'm sure that thanks to our joint commitment, we will leave this crisis stronger, both as economy and as a society. I can assure you that, as in previous years, we will be taking endeavors that will contribute to flourishment of our academy. We know that the potential of our students and employees at universities is limitless. We will be trying to develop solutions so that all the citizens of Poland will be able to use this potential and for you to do it in a safe way. As in the previous 100 years, Polish economy and the entire Polish society will benefit from this cooperation. I wish it to all of you and to all of us for this academic year. And I'm sure that the year will bring about many successes for students, graduate academic staff and other members of the community at the Warsaw School of Economics. Signed by Minister of Education and Science, Professor Przemysław Czarnek.
Bardzo dziękuję.
Thank you.
Bardzo dziękuję i zapraszam teraz pana Włodzimierza Karpińskiego, sekretarza
Now
miasta
I
stołecznego
kindly ask
Warszawy.
Mr. Włodzimierz Karpiński, Secretary of the Capital City of Warsaw, to read the letter from Dr. Rafał Trzaskowski, Mayor of Warsaw. Thank you.
Magnificencjo, Wysoki Senacie,
Director, Senate,
Wasze Magnificencje,
Excellencies,
Panie Marszałku, Panie Ministrze,
Marshal, Ministers.
Pana Prezydenta Rafała Trzaskowskiego, Prezydenta Miasta Stołecznego Warszawy.
This is a letter from Rafał Trzaskowski, Mayor of Warsaw. It contains a lot of warm words and best wishes for the world of academia and especially the people who work at the university, at this university. I will read fragments of this letter. At the same time, I'd like to express my gratitude for collaboration between Warsaw School of Economics and Warsaw City Council. Warsaw School of Economics is Poland's most important economic university, boasting over 100 years of tradition. It's a proud of the capital city. The way you're looking at the capital city, the way you are looking at the needs of this city, all this has led us to sign a contract of cooperation between the City Council and the university. We take great care. We are working hard to make sure that universities in Warsaw and Warsaw School of Economics are a great place for work and development, and I do hope that the proposals that are currently, the draft laws that are currently being looked at in the Parliament, I do hope that they will not be passed because they will curb the amount of money that is given to local governments and they will destabilize funding for universities and higher education institutions. I'd like to tell all of you that Warsaw will always continue to support the independence of tertiary education centers and universities, and it will support you in the development of students, in the development of your academic staff. I would like to congratulate the students who have the honor of starting their studies at this university. I wish them all the success in their professional work, in their student life as well. And that was from the mayor of Warsaw. And on my behalf, I'd like to say also that it is important that you strive for the truth. Referring to what the rector said about reliable research, reliable data, dear students, the truth is not good because it's nice, but the truth is something that we should strive for because it is the truth. The truth is true. Thank you very much for your attention.
Bardzo dziękujemy.
Thank you very much.
Proszę teraz pana profesora Jacka Prokopa,
Now,
prorektora do spraw
I
współpracy
kindly
z
ask Professor
zagranicą,
Jacek
o
Prokop,
odczytanie
Vice Rector for
prezesa
International
Rady
Cooperation,
Mateusza.
to read the letter from Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki.
Prezes Rady Ministrów, Warszawa,
Prime Minister,
października 2020
Warsaw, on the
roku.
13th of October 2021.
Szanowni Państwo,
Excellencies, Rector,
roku akademickiego
Senate,
jest czasem nadziei, plamy,
ladies and gentlemen, this inauguration is a time of new opening.
przed szansą,
The community of the university is faced with an opportunity to develop their potential, to make their plans come true. On this unique day of the anniversary, the 115th anniversary of Warsaw School of Economics, I would like to pass on my congratulations to all of you at this university. I do hold you in my memory, and I remember about the importance of the university.
sprzed pandemii koronawirusa.
I am truly happy that we are able to meet back on site. Again, you will be able to implement the ideals of studies that are taking place on site when there is a master and student kind of relationship present. And that knowledge can be passed on site. And soon we will be able also to implement a new law, the so-called package of academic freedom. The changes that we are going to implement in that law, they will guarantee freedom of speech, freedom of teaching, and freedom of research. I am convinced that this document that we will pass soon is of paramount importance for universities and for their development, for the development of research and science. This is an element of our vision for the development of tertiary education. As the government, we want academic centers in Poland to ensure a high quality of research, also internationally recognized research. We want them also to collaborate with the industry, with the businesses. We are convinced that a program that is based on best practices from abroad will enable us to train and educate students, offer them the best opportunities, but also base it on a set of well-grounded values. I'd like this to be a setting for collaboration between the community, the academia, and the business. This is of strategic importance for the development of Poland and our region. I wish all of you that this new academic year, 2021-2022, here at Warsaw School of Economics is for the students who are beginning their studies, also a beginning of a fascinating encounter with science. And for more senior students and the academic staff at this university, I wish that it is a time for discovering new challenges and new solutions that will serve well the Polish academia and Polish science in future. I believe that involvement of academic centers in community life is in line with the constitutional principle of our common good, signed by Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki. Thank you.
Bardzo dziękuję panu prorektorowi.
Thank you very much, Vice Rector. Now we will hand in the Medal of Merit for the achievements that serve well this university, and I will now ask Professor Roman Sobiecki, Vice Rector for Development, to lead this part of the ceremony. Marshal, Ministers, Excellencies, Senate, distinguished guests, dear staff of the university, and dear students, dear PhD students. It is my pleasure to now announce that the jury has decided to grant the medal to Zygmunt Berdychowski, who is behind the Economic Forum, the person behind the Economic Forum of the Economic Forum organized in many Polish countries. The Institute for Eastern Studies is the most important center for establishing the dialogue between East and West. It was established by Zygmunt Berdychowski. The Economic Forum, first in Krynica and for 2 years now in Karpacz. This event is referred to as the Polish Davos, and with a good reason. For 13 years now, it has been attended by businesses, by the representatives of the academia and politicians from many countries from the region. As underlined in one of the recent interviews, it is the meeting with other people, sharing results of research. This is the most valuable element of the event in Krynica and in Karpacz. He has been able to create a set of events, a series of events with a very important value, the value of discussion and debate. Zygmunt Berdychowski is behind all of that success, and Warsaw School of Economics has been, for many years now, the main merit-based partner for the event, and thanks to that, the voice of experts in economics and statistics, it is heard by experts. The collaboration between the Institute for Eastern Studies and our university makes it possible for us to collaborate in the debates organized as part of the events organized by Zygmunt Berdychowski. For 3 years right now, we have been publishing joint reports that are our response to the need for a true debate in our society. And these debates are one of the main elements that many people look forward to before the events. We truly value the fact that Zygmunt Berdychowski has made it possible for Warsaw School of Economics, for our voice to be heard, for our image to be strengthened on the international arena. On behalf of the jury, on behalf of the academic community of Warsaw School of Economics, I would like to sincerely congratulate Zygmunt Berdychowski. I wish him best of luck in achieving his dreams. I will now ask Zygmunt Berdychowski to come to the stage. Also Marek Rodzki, the chairman of the jury, will be handing in this medal.
Dziękujemy i gratulujemy.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to Mr. Zygmunt Berdychowski.
Dziękujemy bardzo, a teraz z wielką
Thank you
przyjemnością
very much.
zapraszam przedstawicielkę klubu partnerów
It is
SGH,
my
panią
pleasure
Agnieszkę
right now
Dziewulską,
to
Chief
ask
People and Culture Officer
Agnieszka
w KPMG.
Dziewulska, Chief People and
Zapraszam,
Culture
prosimy o kilka
Officer at
słów. Dodam
KPMG,
również, że
to
KPMG
come
jest
to the
członkiem
stage.
klubu partnerów
KPMG
SGH
is a member of
2012
Warsaw School of Economics Partners Club for many years now.
Przepraszam już, magnificencjo, dostojni goście.
Distinguished guests, excellencies, students, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to represent the Club of Partners of Warsaw School of Economics, to represent the world of business in my welcome speech directed to the students who are starting their studies this year and who are continuing their studies as well. The collaboration between the academia and business is of fundamental nature. This collaboration, especially in the era of AI, has to be based on redeveloping our understanding, our knowledge, so that the students can enter successfully the job market. We have created business and startup incubators. We have made it possible for students to develop competencies that will be useful in the future. Dear professors, passing on knowledge is an art, and it's a great privilege. I wish all of you the ability to be inspiring, dear students. The competencies of the future, that is the buzzword. And the queen of all competencies is the ability to learn. Long life learning is a superpower. Please learn to learn and nurture that curiosity inside yourselves. You are ahead of you. There is an exciting time, and based on my experience, I can share with you one thought that I have had in my head for 2 decades on the job market, and I was lucky to hear it when I was entering the job market. This is a quote from Jack Welch, which is always going to be true. The quote, both the quote and Jack Welch are going to be very much up to date at all times. Please arrange your careers, your professional lives in such a way that you can always make choices, that you can create situations that enable you, that empower you to make choices. It is only knowledge and expanding your understanding of phenomena can make you, only that can make you up to date. Please do not stop. Ahead of you there are quite a few careers, maybe quite a few startups, quite a few patents, quite a few breakthrough and disruptive ideas that will push the horizons further. Blockchain, augmented intelligence, virtual reality, commercialization of space flights. The future belongs to you. Are you ready for it? Thank you. Now, the choir of Warsaw School of Economics. Gaude Mater Polonia.
Bardzo.
Thank you very much. Now we are commencing the main part of our ceremony, the enrollment of the students of first year and the PhD candidates of the first year. Now I would like to ask Professor Krzysztof Kozłowski, Vice Rector for Teaching and Students, to lead this part of the ceremony regarding the students, and Professor Agnieszka Chłoń-Dominiczak, Deputy Rector for Science, to lead the part concerning PhD candidates. the floor is
Szanowni
yours.
Państwo,
Ladies and
z
gentlemen,
ogromną przyjemnością
it is my
przedstawiam
pleasure
Państwu przedstawicieli
to
studentów
announce
pierwszego
the
roku
representatives
Szkoły Ogólnej
of the
Warszawy.
first-year students of the
W
Warsaw
przypadku
School of
studentów
Economics.
pierwszego stopnia
As for
są
the
to
first degree students, BA students these are the following: Ms. Karolina Grzeszczuk, Mr. Jan Kaszczyk, Aleksander Łabuć, and Ms. Julia Nićpoń.
Studia drugiego stopnia są to
As
pani
for the
Anna
MA
Biernacka,
studies,
pan Dariusz
Anna Biernacka,
Gogolewski i pani
Mr.
Joanna
Dariusz
Krysta.
Gogolewski, and Ms. Joanna
Bardzo
Krysta.
proszę wymienionych studentów o
Now I would
zaprezentowania
like to
państwa
ask
powstania.
the aforementioned students to repeat the words of the road.
Świadom praw i obowiązków,
Aware of the duties and laws,
to jest szkoła główna handlowa, możecie być z tego dumni.
and you can be proud and boast about it because it's Warsaw School of Economics, aware of laws
Studenta Szkoły Głównej
and
Handlowej w
duties
Warszawie,
of the students of the Warsaw School of Economics,
biorąc sobie za świadków wszystkich
taking
zgromadzonych,
as witnesses all those who came here,
ślubuję uroczyście
I solemnly vow,
sumiennie zdobywać wiedzę,
consciously strive for knowledge,
wykorzystywać ją dla dobra ogółu,
and use it for the benefit of
ale
all.
dosięgać prawdę,
Strive for the truth,
swoją postawą dawać jej świadectwo.
and by my attitude give testimony to the truth. To uphold the dignity of the student, tradition,
Szkoły Głównej
and the
Handlowej w
name
Warszawie.
of Warsaw School of Economics.
Przywilej prorektora do spraw dydaktyki.
And this is the privilege of the Deputy Rector for Students and Teaching. Let me welcome you to the oldest economic university in this country and a European university. Now we will be delivering you index books.
Dyrektora, profesora Piotra
I would like to
Wachowskiego,
ask
nie ma
Professor
tytułu.
Piotr Wachowiak to hand them over. I invite the following students: Ms. Karolina Grzeszczuk.
Pana Jana Kasyka,
Mr. Jan Kasyk.
pana Aleksandra Łabucia,
Mr. Alexander Łabuć.
panią Julię Nićpan,
Ms. Julia Nićpoń.
panią Joannę Biernacką,
Ms. Joanna Biernacka.
pana Dariusza Gogolewskiego,
Mr. Dariusz Gogolewski.
i panią Joannę Krystę.
And Ms. Joanna Krysta.
Z mojej strony bardzo dziękuję.
That's it from me. Thank you very much.
Magnificencjo, szanowny panie marszałku.
Dear Rector, dear Marshal, and dear guests, it is my extraordinary honor to present you with the representatives of the first-year PhD candidates at the Warsaw School of Economics, Mr. Krzysztof Jankowski and Ms. Paulina Pniewska. And now, the words of the vow. It's very difficult so that everybody could hear you. You are a very tiny group, but please rise.
I proszę proszę o
And please repeat the words of the vow.
złożenie ślubowania. Świadom praw i obowiązków
Aware of the laws and duties
doktoranta Szkoły Głównej
of the
Handlowej w
PhD
Warszawie,
candidate at the Warsaw School of Economics,
biorąc sobie za świadków wszystkich tu zgromadzonych,
taking as witnesses all those who came here,
ślubuję uroczyście
I solemnly vow
sumiennie zdobywać wiedzę
to diligently acquire knowledge
i wykorzystywać ją dla dobra
and
ogółu,
grasp and use it for the benefit of all,
wytrwale dociekać prawdy
consistently and persistently strive
i
for the
swoją
truth,
postawą dawać jej
and
świadectwo,
by my actions give testimony of this
przyczyniać
truth,
się do powiększenia
to
dorobku
contribute
nauki,
to the development of science,
dbać o godność doktoranta,
uphold the dignity of a PhD
tradycje i
candidate,
dobre imię,
tradition, and good name of the Warsaw School of Economics.
Bardzo dziękuję.
Thank you very much indeed for this.
I proszę pana
And now,
profesora Piotra Wachowiaka o
I would like to
wręczenie
ask
matryczki.
Professor Piotr
Zapraszam pana
Wachowiak
magistra.
to hand over registration certificates.
I panią magister Paulinę Pniewską. Bardzo dziękuję.
Thank you very much indeed.
Proszę Państwa,
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
trochę gimnastyki się przyda.
A bit of a physical education now. I think you will enjoy it. My wife is very pleased with that. The academic year 2021-2022 at the Warsaw School of Economics
Ogłaszam za
is announced to be open. 1, 2, 3. And now it's officially started. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed.
Zatem teraz by oddać
Now it's time to hand over the floor to the representatives of the main protagonists of this ceremony. And now I would like to invite the president of the Board of Students' Government at the SGH Warsaw School of Economics, Mr. Wojciech Godlewski.
Wasza Magnificencjo, Wysoki Senacie,
Dear Rector, dear senators,
szanowni goście
reverend
i wy,
professors,
nieobecni
dear professors,
plenarnie, drodzy studenci.
and
Na
you,
początek
dear
chciałbym
students.
serdecznie przywitać właśnie
At the
studentów,
beginning, I would like to
którzy
welcome
niestety nie
precisely
mogą
the
być z
students
nami
who
na
unfortunately
auli.
are not able to be
Wielkim
here with
wyzwaniem
us.
jest mówić do
It is an extraordinary challenge to speak to somebody who you don't see. That is why I will address to the new, freshly minted students. I will tell you what you've certainly heard, and you will continue to hear that. Congratulations, you've been accepted to one of the best universities in Poland, and you became member of the extraordinary community of the student self-government at this university. We should realize that students are the most important subject at the university. Had it not been for students, the university would not exist. Do keep in mind that the Warsaw School of Economics is our joint commitment and responsibility. It is our family. He who doesn't go forward goes back. I would like this quote to be a guiding thought for you and for all of us in this upcoming academic year. In this turbulent world, we need to perfect ourselves. I myself can see how many changes have been taking place at our university. We shouldn't be afraid of these changes. We should cooperate in their implementation. That is how we will be able to achieve European level of training. It's worth mentioning that the European Union provides extraordinary support for our university. Our dream is to call our university a European one. Please do remember that values at the Warsaw School of Economics, such as truth or respect, are in congruence with basic European values such as tolerance of diverse or diversity. We are extending our warm welcome to everybody at the Warsaw School of Economics, and I believe that the upcoming academic year will be a good year for us. It will be an interesting year, of course. I will not add more adjectives because I think they would only distort the general picture. In order to reconcile the two characteristics I mentioned, we have to keep in mind that, as has been said, nothing is given forever, including the on-site training. It is up to us to enjoy it and to guarantee that we continue to enjoy it. So it's our joint responsibility. And to conclude in an optimistic way, let me say the following thing. I wish to all of you, for this to be a good academic year. Thank you very much.
Dziękujemy bardzo.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of the President of the Board of the PhD candidates, Ms. Karolina Bolesta will be speaking.
Doktorantów.
When commencing the academic year, we usually think, how will it look like? Usually, future is unknown, but we are experiencing times of the COVID-19 pandemic, which brings up more unknowns. We are able to return to the university, and we are very glad of it, but we don't know how long it'll last. I know that we are looking in an audacious way into our future, and this audacity is important to change our society. And I think you, PhD candidates at Warsaw School of Economics, cannot be accused of having a lack of audacity. We can see how they represent our university when they obtain their degrees. Let me remind you that Warsaw School of Economics is more than just a university. It's an opportunities. It's all these opportunities offered by the university authorities, and I'm pleased to acknowledge that these opportunities are well exploited by students and PhD candidates. To conclude, let me address the new PhD candidates. Let me remind you that being here is a privilege, and we are members of renowned university, but it's also a trust extended to us. Please do use it in a dignified way. And I know that PhD candidates are well known in their communities and outside them.
wiodącym ośrodkiem badawczym już nie
And
tylko
this
w
also
Polsce,
makes the
ale
Warsaw School of
również w
Economics a
Europie.
leading university and research institution not only in Poland but also across Europe and around the world. To all the community who is watching us online and is here, I wish you all the best and all the satisfaction in the upcoming year. Thank you very much.
Dziękujemy bardzo. Zgodnie z coroczną tradycją przyszedł do
Thank you very much. In line with our long-term tradition, the time has come to offer congratulations to the graduates of Warsaw School of Economics who are present here and who are celebrating the 50th anniversary of their registry as students. I'm asking now Professor Jacek Prokop to conduct this part of the event. Director, can I please ask you to hand in the prizes?
Pana profesora Krzysztofa Maryckiego.
I'd like to ask Professor Krzysztof Marecki.
Zapraszam panią profesor Grażynę Leśniak.
Also, Professor Grażyna Leśniak-Łebkowska.
Zapraszam panią doktor Barbarę Trzcińską.
Dr Barbara Trzcińska.
Ja dodam tylko, proszę państwa,
Let me add at this point, ladies and gentlemen, that at this university there are outstanding students.
profesor, które zaczęły
And this is an example of two professors from our university who studied at our university as well. Congratulations once again.
Dziękujemy i gratulujemy. A przed
Thank
nami kolejny punkt
The next part
uroczystej
of
inauguracji.
the
Wręczenie
agenda
nagród Żagle
of our
Biznesu
event
SGH.
is
Zapraszam pana profesora
the
Romana
award ceremony
Sobieckiego.
for Żagle
I
Biznesu
proszę.
Award
Cześć.
Business Sales. Professor Roman Sobiecki will take the lead in this part.
Panie Ministrze, Magnificencie, Wysoki Senacie, drodzy Państwo,
Senate, ladies and gentlemen,
szanowni studenci, bo to też
dear students,
Państwa adresem jest to, co przed chwilą zaprezentowałem.
because I will also be referring to you in my speech when I talk about this fourth edition of the Sales of Business Award, and this is about disseminating more information about initiatives that were founded by or co-created by students, doctoral students and graduates of Warsaw School of Economics.
Inteligentne organizacje.
And they are mostly smart organizations, intelligent organizations, and we award the best ones in the following areas: product, organization, technology, marketing, and CSR.
Przypomnieć, że
It is worth mentioning at this point that the originator of the method for assessing the candidates is Professor Hanna Golewska-Majkowska, chairwoman of the jury. In 2021, the jury, composed of representatives of our academic staff and our business partners, we decided to grant the main award to Take Task SA company.
Tę nagrodę otrzymuje po raz drugi, dlatego mamy Grand Prix.
Well, this is a Grand Prix actually because they have they received the award previously as well. I will now ask the company's CEO, Mr. Sebastian Starzyński, to collect the award.
No pewnie wiatr dalej powiał i gdzieś dalej popłynął.
And the wind is not here, the wind is blowing and he may have sailed on, but we, the jury, have been able to also award special prizes for InStreamly. The award will be collected by Mrs. Victoria Wójcik, co-founder of the company. And another special distinction is granted to Eper company, and on behalf of the company, the award will be collected by the CEO, Mr. Maciej Jarząb.
Jak mawiał stary Seneca, jeśli nie wiesz dokąd płyniesz,
in the words of Seneca, if you don't know where you are sailing, the wind will not blow in your sails. So I wish to all of you, the recipients of the awards, and to all the companies run by our graduates, I wish all of you that we know our destination, that we know where we are sailing so that the wind is blowing in our sails. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the winners. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is an inauguration. There has to be an inauguration lecture accompanying it. So now I will ask Professor Elżbieta Adamowicz to take the floor, and she will deliver a lecture about economy in the time of the pandemic. This is our inauguration lecture. The floor is yours.
Magnificencjo rektorze, dostojni goście, koleżanki, koledzy.
Ladies and gentlemen, rector, senate, the academic staff, this jubilee that we are, the anniversary that we are celebrating, for the first time, I took part in such an inauguration 55 years ago. This school had a different, had the same name actually, Warsaw School of Economics. And next year, our institute, our research institute, will be celebrating the 20th anniversary. And research of this sort has been conducted for 30 years right now, and for 18 months right now, we have been experiencing the negative impact of pandemic. It has affected us all in our family life, in our business life, but for the economy, it is a very special period of time where we can track the events and the phenomena that we have not been able to track beforehand. We experienced it in Poland, we saw it in Poland for the first time in March 2020. A similar situation, we can say that this was a unique situation not encountered in previous crises. Only 9% of our respondents did not experience any negative effects of lockdowns and restrictions introduced as a result of the pandemic. And every fourth respondent thought they were acute. We had historical minimum readouts for many indices, and the speed of the downturn was exceptional. In the economy, we also had to tackle another virus, the virus of uncertainty that affected all stakeholders in economic life. The differences were not typical and not aligned with cyclical or seasonal changes. There are about 90 variables across different six sectors of the economy: in the processing industry, in building, trade, banking, households. This is what we research on a quarterly basis. I will not give you all the details in order not to bore you too much, but you can find the results on our website. But let me now tell you a few words about the most important ones, and also about something that will impact the economy to the largest extent. The processes that I will be talking about will be described not only in terms of the data from our institute, but also I'll be referring to statistical data from central statistical offices. The data from our institute is forecast type of data. We know what has been happening in the economy over the third quarter, but the statistical data that we have are data from the second quarter of 2020. And overall, at the level of the entire economy, the indicator that enables us to describe the economy as a whole is the barometer of our institute. And you can see on this first slide what it looked like since the early 1990s up until now. So that's more or less what the curve has been like. I have some problems with the clicker, so I will be not showing you all these graphical slides and charts, but you know what happened, and you can see also on this slide what happened: a very sharp downturn of GDP in terms of GDP and all other indicators in the economy. The blue line is the economic development line, and the red line is statistical data. But on the slide, you also have a dotted blue line, and it tells you very clearly that the peak of economic activity was in the middle of 2018. The pandemic struck us when the economy was already slowing down. And this sharp downturn made the crisis more acute. And the crisis began actually at the beginning in the middle of 2019. The lowest readouts of GDP and other indicators were in the second half of 2020, and then we have interchangeable increase and decrease in the values. The barometer and gross domestic product, they fell down and bounced back repeatedly, and the biggest rebounds were in the second half in the second quarter of 2020. We don't have the data yet for the third quarter, but our barometer, the Institute's barometer, we observed a strong rebound in the second quarter, but sadly in the third quarter it has gone down again. Why? Well, then the difference in the industries, the differences affecting the households also made an impact. In terms of sales volume in the industry, in the heavy industry, the largest drop in the trend indicator was in March and April 2020. Starting from May, there was a sign of a rebound, more economic activity, but after that we had further falls, unfortunately. So currently we are at the stage when the values of these indicators are lower than pre-pandemic values and lower than in the peak period on the middle of 2018. Let us now discuss the one particular sector, construction. Well, the changes in construction were of slightly different nature than in industry overall. The initial downturn was strong, but the decline in economic activity was weaker than in the previous crisis. Also, there was a quick rebound, quick reversal already at the end of 2020. So the downturn and the drop in construction was different than in other industries that we are tracking. But what must be underlined is that it varied also depending on the region, on the type of construction activity implemented by particular companies. Some people are even talking about a small construction boom that took place in the middle of the pandemic, but it mostly pertained to services, redecorating, refurbishment services. As regards the variables that we observe in the tracking of market trends and economic trends, the differences in the values were really varied. The largest amplitudes were in the opinions of entrepreneurs about what is happening in the economy. We sometimes refer to such opinions as optimism or pessimism indicators. They were pessimistic in that they pessimistically assessed the state of the economy, and also the forecast, their approach to forecasts was pessimistic. And these opinions are actually probably the most, one of the most pessimistic ones that we have been observing over the last 20 years or so. They pertain to orders in particular sectors. We had large changes also pertaining to the financial situation of companies. But relatively speaking, the smallest changes affected employment. In the period under research, we also saw a rise in prices of both services and raw materials across industries. We have seen historically strong changes in as regards the supply and demand. High demand, high taxation, unstable legislation, that is one of the complaints that these are the complaints voiced by entrepreneurs, and also lack of employees, both qualified and unqualified, that result from the demographic situation of our country that were even deepened by the health debt generated during the pandemic, but also the mortality rate in Poland during the pandemic, which was up to 40% higher than the European average for the period. Also, what is very important is a low level of professional activity in Poland, which does not go above 60% currently in Poland. During the pandemic, we have also witnessed the breaking of supply chains, resulting in problems with supplies of raw materials and ready products. And also rising prices for construction companies, increasing raw material prices for the construction industry. This is a major barrier for many entrepreneurs, for many businesses. Despite the alleged construction boom, profitability is not going up because of the growing prices. And there's also pessimism visible in the behaviors of individual households. We can see that the mood of the individual consumers has been rather down, and we have seen rebounds in that respect as well, but then they were followed by another drop. And the sentiment of consumers is showed against the backdrop of consumption, generally speaking, consumption in the country. So consumption has been rather stable. But there was a drop visible during the pandemic, and we can see that the rebound right now is taking more time. It's rather slow. Let us also note that in the third quarter of this year, after a strong growth in the second quarter, the opinion index actually slowed down. The mood, the sentiment is not improving fast at all. It's rather slow, actually. We can say that households are not assessing their situation positively. They are worried about rising prices and worried about a further deterioration. And that is why people purchase goods fast and they purchase services. They refurbish their homes fast because they try to limit the purchasing power decrease that is generated by rising inflation. So increase in the GDP, it is not only that delayed demand caused by the pandemic, but also that preemptive demand that is geared towards limiting the losses generated by households because their purchasing power is dropping because of the rising inflation. As every crisis, it's also the COVID crisis has its winners and losers. On the side of the winners, for this period, we can place progress in digitization and rapid introduction of new technologies. So who are the winners? All those who have been able to shift their businesses to online and use the opportunities created by new technologies. To the largest extent, those who have suffered were the representatives of sectors that render direct services, face-to-face services, and institutions of art, culture, and healthcare. Also, education has suffered, and we experienced that firsthand. The changes in particular sectors have been diverse, even in industries which have been affected most acutely by the pandemic. We have seen symptoms of recovery. For example, catering services. The number of restaurants went bankrupt, but at the same time, consumption of alcohol was on the rise. Consumers couldn't go to restaurants, but they purchased expensive alcohol. And that's why the value of sales of alcohol increased. Another example, representatives of financial institutions indicate that over the period of time, we were dealing with reasonable decisions of consumers when it comes to taking out loans. And what else? Will the economy be reborn? Will it rise like phoenix from the ashes? Well, there is a necessity to introduce changes in many sectors of the economy. For sure, the changes should pertain to the sectors that have been most affected by the pandemic, and it seems that the changes also should be a continuation of the changes that we have been able to label as positive. Will it mean a shift to a new model of economy, a 4.0 economy? Well, we shall see. We shall see very soon.
We are at the dawn of a debate regarding the recovery of our economy and introducing of a new economic deal. the announcements of new economic measures and changes within these programs. When it comes to EU funds, well, we don't know whether they will arrive or not, and when will they arrive, and how will they be benefited. As far as the attitudes of the employers towards the Polish New Deal's solutions, they are very critical towards it. So, taking this into consideration, if the beneficiaries of this scheme are consumers, we have to keep in mind that in the short term, the growth in consumption threatens the growth in investments. And without investments, we cannot have a quick recovery in our economy. Ernst & Young, or the National Bank of Poland, research shows that in the last period, the main engine for economic growth was export. Export was responsible for more than 66% of GDP growth. The current inflation levels threatens exporters because it decreases the competitiveness of our goods on foreign markets. Export is also not aided by weak currency level of zloty. So even though we hope for rationalization of consumers' decisions, we will have to stay anxious about the future. And there is a blunt question related to the future that we are asking ourselves. What about the pandemic? Sorry. Well, we've had pandemic already. Are we facing continuous pandemic situation, or will it get better? We all hope that there will be no subsequent phase of the development of the pandemic resulting in lockdowns. Let us hope that this will be the case. But there is another misfortune for the economy, and this is the growing inflationary pressures. This is a serious threat, really. And taking into consideration the prices of raw materials, and barriers unheard of since 1989 are threatening our economy, it can be seen that due to these factors, we cannot exclude such a negative scenario. But of course we can counteract this negative scenario. And all of us will be able to contribute, to give our share to the economic recovery. The remodeled economy will provoke growth to more skilled workforce. Towards the entrance of our A building we see an inscription that was destroyed during the Warsaw Uprising and restored at the 19th anniversary of our school. It says, "To the youth, for the power of the Republic of Poland." If we educate and train our youth, we will prepare them to face new challenges, and we don't know them yet, but we certainly know that they will come to pass, that there will be new challenges. The pandemic has deprived of face-to-face meetings, so that's why I'm very glad I could meet up with you today in this main auditory of university. Thank you very much indeed for your attention. Professor Elżbieta Adamowicz, thank you very much for delivering inauguration lecture entitled Economy During the Pandemic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please write Ode to Joy by the Warsaw School of Economics Choir.
Bardzo dziękujemy.
Thank you very much, and a warm applause for the choir.
Czas, by zajęcie
Now it's time, and please take your seats. It's time for artistic part of our celebrations today.
Państwa
For this event.
rektorów bardzo proszę o zajęcie miejsc.
Rectors, please take your seats in the first row.
A przed nami występ pana profesora Klaudiusza Barana i pani
Professor
Justyny,
Klaudiusz Baran and
znakomitych
Ms.
artystów
Justyna Baran will be
obdarzonych absolutną
playing
wyjątkową
for us. These are extraordinary
wrażliwością
artists
w wykonaniu
with musical sensitive, extraordinary
Le Grand Tango oraz
musical
Manuel de Falla,
sensitivity.
artyści hiszpański.
They will be playing
Nana i Polo.
Astor Piazzolla and Manuel de Falla. A warm invitation to enjoy this performance.
Justyna Baran, Klaudiusz Baran. Bardzo
Ms.
pięknie
Justyna Baran
dziękujemy
and Professor
za to,
Klaudiusz
że
Baran,
zabraliście
thank
nas
you
na
very
tą
much
krótką,
indeed
ale jakże
for
piękną
taking us
muzyczną
for this
podróż.
brief and beautiful musical journey.
Drodzy Państwo, część artystyczna
Ladies and gentlemen, the artistic part is behind us, thus let me give back the floor to Rector Professor Piotr Wachowiak.
I czas oficjalnie zamknąć.
And it's time for an official closure of this magnificent celebration.
Przynajmniej 45 minut wykładu.
Ladies and gentlemen, now the second lecture, 45 minutes. I cannot be worse than the inaugural lecture. I'm just kidding. Dear rectors,
Przekroczenie uroczystości o
I want to apologize the rectors because we've passed our time, allotted time for 20 minutes, but we had a magnificent concert and I hope you will forgive me
poślizg.
this
Proszę Państwa,
lag.
chciałem
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
bardzo Państwu podziękować.
I wanted to thank you wholeheartedly, to all of you,
Szczególnie chciałem podziękować
and especially
za naszej alma mater duże wyróżnienie, że
to our boss, because the rector came here from Silesia and he found time in his tight agenda to be here. It's an honor for us. Let me thank my friends, I think I can call them this way, rectors of economic universities, rectors of universities in Warsaw, based in Warsaw. Thanks to all of you that you've been here with me and with us today. And thanks to all the other guests, especially, in particular, I would like to thank the retired employees, retired staff at Warsaw, at the Warsaw School of Economics. You know that it's important that you're here. Thanks for the to the senator. You've been with us for 30 years. Yola, thanks for supporting me in all the situations I'm facing. And a warm thanks to our magnificent choir. For 16 years I've been tutoring this choir, and I hope to continue to do that in the future. We have magnificent Dr. Tomasz Hynek, who is with us. And I am jealous about him, that the musical university has such a high, fantastic employee. My thanks go also to former rectors who are with me. Thanks to Adam Podlikowski, thanks to Marek Rocki, and thanks to Zygmunt Bosiakowski, who, because of his health condition, is joining us online. And thanks to the Senate of Warsaw School of Economics, and thanks to our staff, Ms. Agata Konarska, who's been supporting me for many years. Thanks, Agata, for this. And thanks to all the people who have contributed to the organization of this event. But of course, the leader is the most important one. I think Mr. Mateusz Małyska was the genuine leader of this. Mateusz, let me thank you. And on your behalf, my thanks go to all the people involved in this ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, today's celebration is being concluded. Thanks for participating, and I invite you for some snacks downstairs. I hereby close an honorary meeting of the Warsaw School of Economics Senate on the occasion of the inauguration of the academic year 2021-22.